Hello, everybody. Psychic Soul Census here. I got some good stuff to talk about today. Good stuff. Um, if you are watching this, you probably noticed that I have set up Tarot Tuesday, and I want to just talk today, share some stuff, share some things. Okay. I got some pretty interesting things to talk about for real. So let's just jump right into it. I'm hoping that my share screen turns out okay because there's a couple things I want to share. I've been working on some stuff. Kelly Fitzpatrick, thank you very much. Thank you to all my subscribers. And if you don't mind, like, share, and subscribe, that helps. It helps a lot. And I really enjoy doing these videos and not just to help me get my experiences off my chest, but to also, if it helps anybody else, then I've done something, right? So I like that too. And I like looking at my little necklace. I earned it. I think one day I might share my recovery story for anybody that, excuse me, maybe, that might help someone. I've been in recovery for like 11 years now, 12. And I've done good. I've done really good. See, I was different when I was younger. I had kids, and well, I didn't have the luxury to go experiment on drugs. So when I did get clean, I tried other stuff like psilocybin and stuff like that. You know, to things to expand your mind, DMT. So my my stuff's been a little different than others, but it's all right. It might help someone else. So, and I thought I don't need my cigarettes, but I want my cigarettes. So I'm gonna work. I'm gonna read a couple things to you. I'm gonna try to share a couple things to you that I've been talking about. It's gonna be a good video. You guys are gonna want to watch this. All right. So there's a couple videos I want to try to show, and a couple of documents I want to show you guys. So basically, I have been reading the CIA documents on the Gateway Project. Now, the Gateway Project was set up to study people with extrasensory abilities. They found out that everyone has extrasensory abilities, which means that we can telepathically communicate. We can do telekinesis, which is move objects. These things were found to be in so called junk DNA. Okay. Now, when I woke up, when Derek came to me, well, let's go back. When I first communicated with God, the female voice and the male voice, this was before Derek died, and they told me when I had heard them telepathically, they were outside of me, but in me. I couldn't explain it. It was weird. I wasn't on drugs. Like I told you, and the only thing I've done is smoke marijuana. I don't consider that relapse because that was not a drug of my choice, and I quit that often. You know, I mean, so the thing is, I was searching for God. That's all I was doing was searching for God. I needed God. I needed some kind of intervention to help me change, to help me really get on the right path. I'm like, God, I've done this work. I'm sober. I've got my family back. I've done the things I need to do. How do I get my life straight? How do I get connected with you and stop running into issues? How do I get connected to my soul? What do I need to do? God showed up. And so during this time, he's telling me that by the meditations that I have been doing and the prayers that I have been doing, I am upgrading my DNA. So I was like, okay. But then Derek passed 3 months later. Just like God told me something would come to me in 3 months and help guide me, I would get all my answers. He said the same thing. By doing prayer and meditation, I'm upgrading my DNA. Now, Billy Carson, you all know him. He's on Ancient Aliens, right? And then this guy that he's been working with, young man, he goes by 19 Keys. He's been talking about this, how we, through prayer and meditation, this is important on the 28th, 29th day of the moon cycle when the moon is in your sign, right? Your sun sign. I'm Sagittarius. So when the moon is in Sagittarius, my seed is preparing. It goes up, and then those 3 days you prepare, or it starts building, and the 28 days to that next 29th day, you're building it. You're working on it. You're meditating your brain. Your energy goes up, and you have a communication. That's upgrading your DNA because it goes past your thymus gland, right? That releases hormones of healing. And it goes up through the back of your spine, up here. You feel it. Oh my God. I'm sorry when that happens. I hope you guys don't think I'm weird, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a, oh my God, every neuron and electron in my body is firing. It's beautiful. And it feels good. And it brings you a loving state. And it's healing you. And what it's doing when that fluid goes up and it hits the pineal gland, there's little follicles and it releases more hormones. And you have these little tiny piezo crystals inside your pineal gland. And it too activates a DMT, other chemicals that help you have a spiritual experience. We are supposed to be doing this all the time because not only that, it activates both sides of your brain, both hemispheres, and it reproduces gray matter. Gray matter is getting destroyed, and we're not in left brain thinking when we're stuck in the TV. Pornography destroys your prefrontal cortex, where your decision making processes is, and your learning, and your there's emotions that there are being messed with through the things that we are allowed to do or promoted to do. So, like, pornography does it, social media does it, playing games all day does it, streaming crap all day does it, the news will do it because the television. I don't know about you guys, but when I grew up, we were poor. My brother was handicapped. He was on the autism. You don't call it handicapped now. It's autistic. He was on the high spectrum of autistic, could not speak, walk, or talk. Or same thing, speak, talk, whatever. he had, he could have 100 grandma Caesars a day. That's all he would do if he didn't have like 12 to 15 medications a day. It was bad. So I didn't have a TV all the time. Okay. It was good. I had a good life. I'm not trying to get pity. My point is, we couldn't afford to have a TV. So, there were times the TV broke. Oh, well, we're screwed. And we didn't have cable. I know my generation didn't grow up with the kind of cable that we have now. And the internet come out when I was 18, 19 years old, 20. And then it was being talked about Bill, the President Clinton, this information superhighway. Remember? All of these things are set up to destroy us if you're on the computer all day. And so what happens is you're constantly in right brain, and that dumbs down the left brain, right? And so Sovereign Soul had it right. I'll have to mention you in the thing, but you had it right when you said all the government loves us so much that they give us a free computer in our hands. Pornography is free. And I'll show you the study where they're talking about pornography destroys the gray matter of your brain. Addiction. Addiction. And so, are we going to sit there and be so dumb that we really think that the government hasn't helped put shit, oh, that's on the street, you know? Oh, because they want to kill us or control us. It's like a no brainer, you know? The main thing is they want to keep you from learning how to heal yourself because this works. And they told you it was sin all your life, and it's not. There's studies coming out that's proven that this stuff heals you, that doing this heals you. And I'm not the only creator talking about it. And that's what I want to try to show you if I can. Okay, so we'll see. I'm praying. Also would like to show you how men and women or just other people in general, when you're around each other, we exchange energy. That's how come prayer works, because if people are believing and doing it in the loving energy, and you get all these positive uh hyped up neurons in the building, in the energy, in the area, in the space, and everybody's feeling it. You can do the same with negativity, fear, through the television, through our social media. We didn't have this stuff growing up, and our kids are getting affected by it, and we're we're losing our rights. Like, there's so many things happening because of it. And if you just look back, it's by design. It's so completely by design, all the way from our religion to our education to our government officials to our doctors to you name it. And if you start talking about stuff like this, that's where they turn to you conspiracy theorists. You start getting into the gray areas of you have a psychological disorder, something's wrong with you, you know, and that's not the case. And then you come to find out after reading Black's Law and some of the language that the government uses that we weren't privy to, you know, you start to find out that they're really just a non for profit organization, and their tyrannical rules and regulations on us are really unnecessary, and we're putting up with it. We're here, you can have my soul, and that's what it's coming down to. It's all one thing. It's all one. Everything is connected. It's all one. If you think for a second that the government is not set up spiritually to try to trick you, well, think again, because it's bread and circus all over the news. It's awful. The Biden thing kills me, and Trump, and don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. I remember they were very political at one time, but it kind of looks like they're trying to take their boy Biden out, force him into retirement. It kind of looks like they're trying to get another winner, Kamala Harris, to be able to step up as president. I don't know. I don't like politics. I don't like the cops. I don't like religion. But I do like the truth. And science is starting to blend in. Science is starting to be like religion. especially the more that they study into what Einstein told them to study, spooky science. And I think that's about what it's all about, guys, right there. All right, let's see if we can do this. Master psychological techniques. This is the one I want to share with 19 keys.
Professor was Dr. Tara Swart. Now, in that class, we learned that when you are sitting next to someone within 8 to 15 feet max, some people's field can go out as much as 20 feet.
19.
There you go, 19. I like it. So right now, I'm sitting next to Keys. Our fields are interacting right now. Now, what's interesting is my bioelectric field and his bioelectric field are combining. My hormones that are in my body, which are right now on a high frequency, are connecting with his, and I'm downloading his into my actual avatar, and he's downloading my energy and my frequency from my hormones into his avatar. Now imagine you're in a room full of people that's stressed out, worried, panicking. They just got done watching all the stuff on TV about they about to shut the planet down again and all this kind of crazy stuff, right? And so their cortisol is spiking.
Yeah.
People who watch the news all day long, they're living in a soup of cortisol nonstop. Yeah. They're addicted to the cortisol spike. Now, when you get next to them, if you're not powerful enough, if you're not speaking to yourself, speaking power on your life, they're going to enter into your body, and that cortisol is going to drain you. It's going to make you now raise your cortisol, and now you feel worse than they do.
That's a fact. No, that's powerful because everything that we're talking about is light communication.
Yeah.
Right? Same way if you go out in the morning at certain daylight hours, early when you wake up, it starts to train your circadian rhythm.
Right.
Right? So you got the super chiasmatic nucleus. I know some good words too. I'm talking about. So light enters and it's training your body and then letting it know what time of the day is, what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, most of us don't realize that we're existing on artificial time, right? Because we're operating on calendar systems, and we talked about this before, but we didn't really go super in depth with it. Now, the reason I find this to be important because I've been deep on rhythms and cycles right now, right, and vibrations. And so being able to understand the fact that when your light that is literally communicating to me, we have ultraviolet light that is on the other side of the spectrum in which the eye can see, but everything vibrates a particular light. Right? So when you go into a crowd like this, and the reason that people like the sage, matter of fact, I got some sage in the back if you can get me some. The reason that people like the sage is because when you have high intense energy in the room, it fills up with these ions, right? These ions are now charged up the room negatively, right? So you have to clear out that energy with that smoke, right? So they was mad at Kyrie Irving for bringing smoke on the field, but he was.
Okay. So you see, there are others talking about this. There's more. I mean, I don't want to fill my description up with all of them. I found another one that last night that was really good, and he also is talking about how we pull that energy up and we connect to God and we walk with God. But what I want to show you are the studies. So let's see the study. Wrong one. All right. Let me get caught up. We're gonna click on. Right there. You asked me to provide an assessment of the gateway experience in terms of its mechanics and ultimate practicality. As I set out to fulfill that tasking, it soon became clear that in order to assess the vitality and practicality of the process, I needed to do enough supporting research and analysis to fully understand how and why the process works. It goes on and it talks about initially based on conversation with the physician who took the gateway training with me, I had recourse to the biomedical models developed by Itzhak Bentov to obtain information concerning the physical aspects of the process. Then I found it necessary to delve into various sources for information concerning quantum mechanics in order to be able to describe the nature and functioning of human consciousness. Finally, I again found it necessary to use physics to bring the whole phenomenon of out-of-body states into a language of physical science to remove the stigma of its occult connotations and to put it into a frame of reference suited to objective assessment. I began the narrative by briefly profiling the fundamental biomedical factors affecting such related techniques as hypnosis, biofeedback, and transcendental meditation. Additionally, introductory material is useful in supporting the conclusions of the paper. It's talking about the physics of the altered human consciousness details with some conceptualizations that are not easily grasped or visualized exclusively in the context of ordinary left brain linear thinking. So it says parts of the paper will require not only logic, but a touch of right brain intuitive insight to achieve a complete, comfortable grasp of the concepts involved. Paradoxically, having gone to such great lengths to avoid trying to render judgments based on an occult or dogmatic frame of reference. Wow. So, and it shows, let's see, the left hemisphere of the brain is the self-cognitive, verbal, and linear reasoning component of the mind. It fulfills the function of the screening incoming stimuli by categorizing, assessing, and assigning meaning prior to allowing passage to the right hemisphere of the mind. So we are learning that you can shut off one part of the mind with technology and still train the brain, because you're shutting off one part of the brain to get it to go get your soul out, your astral projecting. It's interesting, guys. Gateway experience. Look it up on DuckDuckGo. It's awesome. It says, consequently, if the left hemisphere can be distracted either through boredom or through reduction of sophoronic semi-sleep state when you're streaming stuff, external stimuli, to include hypnotic suggestions, are allowed to pass unchallenged into the right hemisphere, where they are accepted and acted upon directly. The result may involve an emotional reaction originating in the lower cerebral region, sensory motor responses requiring involvement of the cortex, and so on. So this is interesting. This is kind of probably how you're tricking the body out, right? Both the sensory and motor cortexes of the right and cerebral portion of the brain contain a sequence of points known as homunculus, which corresponds to points of the body. So it can send sounds that in your brain that make parts of the body probably relax so your soul can come out. This is an interesting study. Go check it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and get ready and wrap up. And then go look up on DuckDuckGo how, in fact, I'll read some of it now, how pornography messes with the gray matter of your brain. Pornography is free. Your phone is free. Your fluoride is free. News is free because you got it on your phone. Propaganda. Bread and circus. Peer-reviewed study, by the way. It's at the University, let me say, Intuition, something, I don't know. It's Intuition is the article. Abstract. Pornography use has exponentially increased in the past years. Most believe pornography use is largely a harmless behavior, although sexuality is an innate hypersexual behavior, such as pornography use has become increasingly commonplace. Addiction research has found that long-term substance addiction contributes to changes in the brain volume. Recent studies have shown that behavioral addictions also have similar volume loss as substance abuse. Research has shown that the particular area most effective in the prefrontal cortex, which oversees regulating self-control, decreases in size when exhibiting addictive behaviors. The cause of behavioral addictions like pornography, sex addiction, comes from the prefrontal cortex areas, such as and it tells you, the VLPFC and the VMPFC. Law. This effect on the prefrontal cortex has been shown to be particularly marked as in participants with pornography addiction. Pornography use has been shown to decrease the gray matter of the prefrontal cortex compared to baseline. So does social media if you're on it all day long every day. If you're on your computer all day long every day, I'm just saying, if you're sitting there streaming the news all day long every day. All right, guys, I hope this turned out good. We will see. But I love you all. This is good information. Please check it out. Meditation is good for you guys. I love you all. And be the person that believes. Be the one that someone believes in good people, okay? Show them. Show them. Be the reason that someone believes in good people. I had it said right the first time. I'm stoned. But I hope this video was good. And I love you all so much. I'll see you on the next one.